Hey everyone, this is Sarah Walkie. Today is January 14th, 2017, and I am coming at you from Farintosh, Alberta. Well, actually, not even in Farintosh. That's just the closest village. I'm actually on an acreage in rural Alberta. Which can make the internet situation a little interesting. Today, I'm going to talk about digital literacy and what it means to me. It all started when I was young and growing up in rural Alberta, where there weren't any TV channels. Maybe ITV would come in clear on a good day, and signing up for satellite TV was quite expensive. I had to use this thing called my imagination. However, even though we were kind of disconnected from the outside world in a lot of ways, my dad always made sure we had a computer. When I was really young, I had a computer in my room and I would use floppy disks to play games on it, which was a pretty big deal back then. I remember dialing up and connecting to the internet, except I don't even think it was called that. I think it was something called Winternet. And I remember when we had our first really big computer that was just a hot buy and something for the whole family to use. It even had a DVD player in it. And I remember my dad telling me that it had something like 8 gigabytes of memory and we were never going to be able to use it all up. Wow, have the times changed. Getting on the internet was quite a process too. Remember that sound? And you couldn't be on the internet at the same time as using the phone, so I could only get on if my mom or my sister were done chatting on the phone. My older sister and I had to share an email address for a little while, because I guess we thought there wasn't enough space for everyone to have one, and it wasn't even a Hotmail account, it was an Excite account. Back in the day, I spent a lot of time in chat rooms, and it was fun learning to do a few hacks to get people bumped off or change their little avatar. And speaking of avatars, I spent a lot of time in Paint Shop Pro changing up those little pixely cartoon avatars, pixel by pixel. Then as time went on, I got out of that and was more interested in downloading songs, maybe 1 or 2 a night, since each one could take up to half an hour. And that was if you didn't get bumped off the internet, and just general surfing the web. When I graduated high school, I entered into an open studies program and took an introduction to computer sciences course, which I really liked. And then my dad was telling me about a multimedia program in Lethbridge that I should check out. And that was really just the time of my life. I learned all kinds of ways to make media and I just loved it. It was everything from video and audio production to websites to graphic design to 3D movies. And that's when I decided I really wanted to be part of this field. After I made my first cheesy website at college, that's what I became most interested in. After that, I would build them on the side until I got a job at a web development company where I'd make them all the time. I still really enjoy making them, so I still do it a little bit on the side ever since I've started another job working for the city of Camrose. I really love WordPress and all the possibilities with it, so that's what I've been using the last several years. It is kind of cheating because I don't have to go in and hand code HTML, PHP, CSS anymore, but that's alright, and since I haven't kept up with coding of any sort over the last several years, it's a skill I've pretty much lost. The first and only time I made a blog came a few years ago when I was having a really tough time in my life. I made the blog private and it became a diary and a bucket list. I like that I could write my thoughts down without any judgment and not having to worry about packing a physical diary around. The blog online, I could write anywhere I wanted as long as I had access to the internet. Nowadays, however, when I'm online or doing any kind of online interaction, it's through social media. And the most common one I use is Facebook for both professional and personal uses. There was and is all kinds of ways to build communities on Facebook. 10 years ago, everybody was put in or started their own Facebook groups for literally everything. A lost phone number group, people who like ketchup group, just your closest friends type groups. And I have to admit, I was in several of those groups. I was young.
I know,
What can I say? I'm still part of groups, different groups for different teams I play on, buy and sell groups, those kinds of things. And I also follow lots of different pages that really cater to my interests. And usually those are some kind of craft related things so I can learn new things and learn new things I didn't know I wanted to learn. Facebook is where I go every day and several times a day. However, I don't share where I work or my birthday online. I've also taken off settings off my phone that have their location tag. If I want to post where I am, I will. I've never really been a person to express my opinions online. I guess I've always just been in the mindset of really who cares what I have to say. So that's been the main reason why I don't personally use Twitter. I use it for work, but not necessarily with my own personal account. I just don't feel like I have anything to tweet about. And the same thing goes with Facebook. I will occasionally post a status or pictures, but usually when and if I share things, I think they're pretty funny. Or otherwise, maybe they're an achievement or they're my dogs because they're stars. But in all seriousness, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube, my Pinterest, and my Snapchat accounts, they're technically my own personal communities. I'm engaged. If I'm being bombarded with what I feel to be inane things, then out it goes. And I feel like these tools are what I'm going to continue to use into the foreseeable future. I've met tons of people over the years, and I've been able to keep in touch with them through social media. It's always nice to see what family and friends are up to when life gets too busy to give a phone call. Social media can be addictive, though. I've had to make a point of shutting off my phone sometimes, especially on trips, so I can really connect and appreciate what I'm doing and where I am at that moment. I think being online can lead to fantasy worlds where you think what you see is true. For example, people that you follow always seem to have perfect lives and they always look great. It's tough not to get caught up on that and judge yourself and your life based on what you see, while remembering that you are technically being censored in what you see because people generally only post the good stuff online, which isn't always an actual representation of their lives. You really have to practice thinking critically about what people say and post online. It's so easy to pass around misinformation. It is also pretty easy to make yourself look legitimate. Recently, it's been so prevalent in anything to do with government. Just a small video or audio clip from someone in power, and you can say whatever you want and spin it whatever way you want. It can be really dangerous when the extreme views of so-called reporting on it is skewed. But people can easily mistake it for being true because they think it's a legitimate news site. Even a simple piece of misinformation posted on someone's personal account can be quickly shared and passed around without a second thought about what the actual truth is. Well, I think that's about enough of me talking. If you're still listening, thanks for sticking it out. I'm always open to feedback and hearing what your comments are. Have a great day.